Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whenever you're calling in from or watching this recording from. I decided to do my video today because I don't have any slides to show, and today is just going to be a little bit of discussion. So I hope a few people join us so we can just go through. Excuse me, I think. Sorry about that. What I have planned for today is just for us to just talk a little bit about finances because I realized that over the years I've had a few businesses that I've started. Some have failed and some are still going. I've not really held a job for some of the jobs I've had back when I was still back in my country. So it was always a 1 month job, just hold it for 1 month and that's it. Move to the next thing. So possibly I'm not really cut out for the office job. But okay, if I find something that would pay me enough to be able to still generate funds for my trading account, and it's I wouldn't really mind going for it. But what is critical, why this call is important, is because I want us to understand that there is importance for us to be able to grow in our finances, to become wealthy. There is a critical need for us to I don't want to use the word diversify because that's in business, there's a critical need to put our eggs in different baskets. You need to be able to do a number of things. You can't just depend on one line of business, one line of income. One source of income would never give you financial independence, would never get you to where you want to be. I understand there are some people that are married, your husband is working, you are working, or your wife is working and you are working. Again, it's still a job. Anything can happen. You could lose the job, she could lose the job, you know, or you could lose the job and he could lose the job. Anything can happen. So it's always advisable for you to look for something else that you want to add to your monthly or weekly or daily income, whatever it is that you do that brings you income. You can't, put all of your eggs in one basket. Even some of us that are Christians, you understand what the scripture talks about. It's casting your bread upon the waters, and after many days, it will come back to you. And another scripture talks about sowing. Um, Doing your trade overseas. I'm paraphrasing now. So trading overseas, that is in putting your money somewhere, let it go somewhere. So the reason for the explaining the cast your bread upon the waters, that means that just throw things out there. There's another part that says you throw things out there you do not know which one would reel in the bring in the kill the big income, bring in the fish. I can't remember the verse now. If I remember, I'm gonna post it to the platform. So it is actually a kingdom principle for you to diversify, for you to spread your 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 business, to look for different arms of business, different things you can do. You can't sit down in one source of income and expect to become wealthy. It's absolutely important for you to have different sources of income. That is why this call is needful. I know we trade here. Some of us work and we trade. Some of us have only trading. You know, yeah, for me, I have other things. Like I wouldn't say this is I trade. It's only trading that I have. I don't do only trading. I do other things, although I don't have a job. I have a web company that I design websites for people. I'm part of that web design. Another thing I do, I also maintain their websites. So I design the websites, I maintain the websites, and I also do, okay, then on the website, that's part of that. I do design as well, flyers and what have you. Anyone welcome on board. Is that D? Okay, that's D. D, welcome on board. Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you. How you
Okay,
doing?
okay. So I was just speaking. It's good to have you on board. I was just talking. I'm just gonna just run through what I've talked about from the beginning. I've not been here long, So
Okay.
although I'm recording, so you can still catch what I've some of the things I said, and even some of us that are not here would also be able to catch the recording. So what I was trying to say, I was trying to just point out the importance of having multiple streams of income, different sources where you can have, money coming in, because I know some people, they have a job. Some people, for maybe your husband has a job, or your wife, or some of us that are male has a job, and you have a job as well. That is still one source of income to my opinion. In my opinion, why? Because that husband or wife could lose that job, or both of you could lose their job at the same time, which means you don't have anything. So it is critical, absolutely critical, for you to have different sources of income. I did mention that there are scriptures that actually support you having multiple streams of income. Idea of one part of the scripture says, "Cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days it will come back to you." Another part talks about spreading it, then you do not know which one would bring back the reward, the kill. So it is absolutely important for you to not depend on one source of income. For me, I will just share my experience that I have. Before now, I've had different jobs. I've always had the jobs I've always worked on. It's always been 1 month. I think the longest I've had a job for was 2 years back in my country back then. It's always been 1 month, and then I'll leave the job. So maybe I'm not really cut out for the general work stream, But right now, I have a few businesses that I run. I have a web design company where designing websites, and apart from designing website, I'm doing a monthly maintenance for the website as well. I design flyers and different things that people do, design business cards, whatever it is on the design level, because I actually went to school to study that area of job, or what can I call it, skill. Yeah, skill. I went to school to study that. So presently, another thing that I do is build up businesses for people. I open up companies for people, also help them to do their what's it called now, confirmation statements, and accounts as well. Just a little bit on the high level. I don't really do the full accounting stuff, So I do a bit of that on the side. I do have a catering business as well. I cook and deliver to people. All of these businesses. I've had more businesses before now that have failed, but these ones are businesses that I'm currently building from scratch by myself. Then my wife has an event management company. She's trying to start what's it called now, a cupcake business as well. The reason why we're doing all of this is because we are thinking financial independence. It's not just she has a job. She has a job. I don't have a job now. She has a job. She does every day, but she doesn't go to work anyway. She does it at home. Works for one bank, and it's quite flexible. The bank allows her to. Well, she's been there for like forever. She's their planning lead. You know, so we have that going, but we also make sure that we're building things, because you also have to understand that you have kids, you have generations that will be coming after you. Scripture talks about that a wise person will leave an inheritance for the children. So you don't want to be thinking about the now. You have to think about the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, the 20 years plan. What are you going to be doing? And for some of us are not growing younger. I know for people back home, back in my country where I come from, retirement, it's quite difficult for them to get their retirement bonuses and what have you. So you have to build your future for yourself, and you can't do that with one source of income. Especially with the world that we're living in, it's easy for you to lose a job, because things are becoming automated. Before you know, with a computer will come in and take your job. So it's very, very important for you to find a means for which you can look for different sources of income. Some can be passive. You can have some things that you do that gives you passive income, or some other things that you do that you can be working on part-time basis. That's why this call is important. For us to let me just share a few things with us that we can do. It's really trying to start something else right now, which is the Amazon business. I'm not sure I'm going to really enter into it. It's a lot of work. To be honest, there's nothing that you want to do that does not involve hard work. You have to work for it. You have to make plans. You have to do a lot of research. You have to spend money. For some people, there are some you start without spending money, but there are some jobs that you have to spend money in. So that's the one side of it. there are some videos that I actually downloaded that I knew as I was going to share with us. I don't have I did it on my wife's computer, so it's really difficult to transfer it from that to this Windows laptop. I'm trying to buy what's it called now, convert convertible device or some whatever it is. I'm going to make that transfer so we can all have access to it, so we can watch and just be, for some of us that would be interested in joining, I mean, doing that kind of business, because I know that it's quite. I wish I had started Amazon, when, about 10, 20 years ago, because I knew about, selling things online, but never really, it wasn't really my take. Who knows, possibly would have, or even bought shares in Amazon. Is it Joe? Is it, what's his name? Jeff Bezos. What's his name now? Jeff Bezos. It's now worth £100 billion or dollars. Yeah, that's how much it's worth. I wish I bought shares in his company. Who knows? I'll probably have become a millionaire by now. But what I'm trying to do today is for us to be able to just to share a few things from. So yes, please, just to share a few things with us that I've just looked at before on the videos that I've watched. One of the key things that we okay. Before then, let me just run down a few things, a few notes. Again, I don't have a presentation, a slide. So I'm just going to run down some of the things I wrote down before I share the Amazon business with us. So for you to start any business, one of the key things you have to remember, whatever it is that you're getting into, either the Amazon business, or also there's eBay business as well. That's something that you might want to do. For some of us, something something short term that you can even start doing. There are things you have in your house, things that you've not used in a long time. eBay, you can sell anything on eBay. Maybe some children's toy that they've outgrown, some clothes that they've outgrown, some things that you find that you've not used for more than 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is that you have. You can sell on eBay. Can make that, before you know it, becomes something that you can buy things even on eBay and sell them on eBay. It's easy. It's not so difficult compared to Amazon, but I've not really entered into it. Just a friend of mine that has done something similar, sells the stuffs on eBay. And also there's a Facebook market as well for some of us that, again, that would want to enter into that line of business. So you can always sell things that you have, old things that you have, not damaged things, things that that people can use, can find them and sell them. So whatever kind of business you want to start, one of the key things you have to remember is that you have to have a vision. Why are you doing it? It is very, very important. You have to have a vision for it, because scriptures talks about the fact that without vision, people perish. If you just jump into something without seeing what exactly you're trying to do, why you want to do it, you're possibly going to be discouraged, because eventually you're going to get so many things that are going to be setbacks. So you must have vision. Why am I doing this? What am I trying to achieve? In starting this, then you must have goals as well. You can have short-term goals of maybe a year to 2 years, or a few months, 6 months to 1 year. You can have mid-term goals. You can have long-term goals, but again, always think in terms of long-term. Reason why you have short-term goals is so that you can always go back and say, okay, if I'm giving myself 6 months to be able to accomplish one side of the particular business I'm getting into, I have to go back and see, okay, how am I doing? For some people, you don't want to just start with a 10-year goal, because that means that you're possibly going to sit down and still have 10 years. You're not going to do anything about it. But if you give yourself a short-term goals, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, you can always, check back, benchmark to see where did I start from? Where am I now? What are the gaps? What can I do to improve? And all of that. So goals are quite important. Then one of the key things you also have to think about is, for that business that you're getting into, whatever it is that you want to do, or maybe you want to do a product. Like my wife is starting a cupcake business. You have to define your unique selling point. What is it that would differentiate you from the pack? Because there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing you can say you want to invent now that's not around. So the truth is everything that we have is just remade. People just make them better. They find a better way of presenting them, of giving it as a service to people. So there's nothing new. So one thing you have to ask yourself, what is your unique selling point? What makes you different from Joe on the next door? What makes you different from every other business that is out there? So you need to define that unique selling point. It could be in your service delivery. It could be maybe how you interact with your customers, or it could be after sales service. Maybe you finish giving them the product, giving them the service. How relate with them, possibly you have to call them and find out how they're doing. But again, your unique selling point, or some they call it USP, is quite important as well. Then you have to know the market that you're getting into. Again, I use my wife's cupcake business because I've always tried to, or some of these things are what I tell her. What is that market? You need to understand it. You can't just jump into the market without understanding who are your competitors. How much are they selling, how much are they selling per day, per year, per week, or whatever. Who is buying from them. So you need to understand that market. What is the entry barrier? Is there any entry barrier? What is the cost of starting? All those kind of things. You have to know the market. How much is it for? How much is the revenue going to be, generated for a particular year, or yearly revenue? So just know the market, know the competitors, do a lot of research. Very, very important. You have to do your research to know your market. Then also know your customers. You need to know who are the people, most especially what they call the target market. Who are the target audience? Who are you trying to sell to? Who's going to be buying your product or your service? You have to define them, the user profile. Who are they? What is their age group? What is their taste, their interest? What are the things that would bring them into buying that product or service that you're trying to sell? This is a very key thing, because if you don't know who you're selling to, you probably possibly make product that nobody will want to buy, because the research shows that businesses fail for the first 5 years, or first 1 to 5 years of their establishment. They fail. Why is this? Because number one, they possibly did not do their homework in terms of understanding the market they're getting into, or the user, or the what's it called now, the target audience that will be buying their service or their product. They just, maybe some of them, they are motivated by money. So that's another element I want to throw in there. You can't be motivated by money. It has to be something that you have passion in doing, because that's what would help you to continue when you meet with roadblocks and setbacks. If it's just money, if you start 1 year, you don't see the money that you want, which is the same thing with this business, the trading business that we're in. Some people come in after 1 month, 2 months, they don't see the money that they're expecting, they drop out. But they don't understand that it's not like that. You have to sit down and grind. You have to do the work, because it's not in the 1 month. It's not even for some people. It's not even in the 1 year. First 2 years, first 3 years, you may not see the kind of money that you're expecting. The money that will be able to help you to get a house or buy the car that you want. It may not be like that. You might have to sit down, do a little bit more work. So you can't be motivated by just money. You have to have some other thing. Could be your passion. Could be what is your why factor? What is the why factor? What is that thing that will keep you going? Whenever discouragement starts setting in, when you keep knocking and nothing is opening the door for you, what is that your why factor that is going to keep you going? So we talk about setting goals. Setting goals, and again, your marketing. You have to understand that these days, marketing is key. Some people, just telling them to come and buy your product doesn't cut it. It's not enough. You might need to do a little bit more pushing, possibly Instagram, Facebook, website, and word of mouth as well. They need to see that other people are buying it. Other people are talking about it before they say, okay, I'm going to try it, because there are people that are called early adopters. They can see a product and they like, and they want to test it out. And there are people that are very reserved. They don't want to take something, do something that nobody's doing. So that's the same thing. Whatever product you're trying to sell or service, you need to market it, you need to promote it. Use your Facebook, use Instagram, use whatever medium that you have, use word of mouth. Just push it out there. Sometimes you might need to spend a little bit money just to push this thing out there. So you need to set marketing goals, as well. Very, very important. What is the price margin? How are you going to be delivering this service or this product? If that's important, that's part of your if you're going into product management, how are you going to be delivering it to your it's your audience or your market, or your user going to be coming to your place to pick it up? So all of this is part of what your understanding what your market is, your marketing goals are. Again, then another thing that I want to talk about is taking action. So when you've done all of this, because there's one thing for you to plan and do all of these things, put all of these things to paper. Again, one thing I also want to draw attention to: you have to write things down. It is very important to write things down. I think there's a saying that says the faintest pen is it stronger than the brightest memory, or whatever they call it. So you have to write everything that you want to do down. Another thing that helps is that when you write it down, your mind dictates how important it is. You can always have something to go back to. But if you don't write anything down, you just keep it in your mind, you see that you forget easily. Give it to, I mean, 2 days, 3 days, you realize that you've forgotten. So always write things down. Okay, this is what I want to do by this time. This is what I do, what I want to do by this time, and all of that. One thing that me and my wife decided to do just recently is something we picked up from Jim Carrey. I want to write a million, 1 million pound check to ourselves. Okay, by the 1 million pound, we're gonna cash this check by so date. So that's something. Jim Carrey did that one time when he was just starting out. He didn't have anything. He was broke. Was nothing. Was zero. I think at the age of 50 or whatever. I can't remember. It's just 50, 40 or 30 or whatever. He wrote it down. He said by so year, he wrote a check of $10,000 to himself. I'm gonna get this will be my first paycheck for this. Jim Carrey. I don't know how many of us know Jim Carrey. He did that movie, Bruce Almighty, or The Flash. For some of us have seen that movie. So he wrote that check. That was when nobody wanted him in the movie industry and everything. He said it's going to be his first check is going to be 10,000. So just write something down. When you write something down, you're automatically telling your brain, okay, get to work. So yeah, that's very, very critical. Let me see what else I want to share before I go into the Amazon, just to share a little bit about the Amazon business. But anyway, I think that's it for this. For the Amazon business, it's all about knowing, choosing the right product that you want to sell. If you go on Amazon right now, there are millions, billions of, I don't know if it's up to billions, but I know there are millions of products on Amazon. And their number, they said, according to the research that I made, is about, I think about 3,000 or 30,000 people that come into Amazon every day selling. You understand? They are coming in, they are selling on Amazon. So you realize that it is quite difficult for you to enter Amazon to start selling. But if you have the right strategy, if you have done the right research and you know what you're doing, you can actually still make it, because people are really making it on Amazon. So there are different things that you have to do. First of all, most importantly, is your research. Find out what product that you want to sell. What market does this product belong to? Or who are your competitors? Because competitors, very, very key, because you don't want to go and sell something that you, for instance, you want to buy something from China, a phone for instance, and bring it and try to sell it on Amazon. There are people like Samsung. There's Samsung, there's Nokia, Apple, and all of those people they are selling as well. So those will be your competitors. So you want to find out what product can you sell that would still be able to give you the profit that you need. That you, at least you want to generate a profit of, say, about close, make sales of about 200 to 600 on a monthly basis. Possibly for some of us, it could be making about 1,000, 2,000, in a month. For some, it depends on the kind of business or product that you want to sell on Amazon. Amazon offers a platform where you can do that, can sell anything on Amazon. So there are places you can also go in and find these products. There are two types of. They have some that are private labeling. They call it. Let me see if I can find the names here. There's private labeling. There's wholesale. There's retail arbitrage, and online arbitrage, and brand owner, and all of that. So private labeling, maybe things you want to label it and label your own brands and send it to Amazon when they finish producing it in China. Send it to. By the way, most of the product come from China. The Alibaba. I don't know how many of us have heard of Alibaba. There are places where different sellers come in and sell their products. So you can actually design a product and then send it to them there, and they can make it and then send it to you or send it to Amazon, so that you can transfer to your customers. So I'm going to be sharing these videos with you, but I just wanted us to understand that, to know that there is actually business in Amazon. For some of us that will be interested in doing the Amazon business, there's so much you can actually do. You want to consider things like the reviews, the weight of the product that you want to sell. You want to consider the people that you're actually getting as your source, as your of suppliers. You need to be able to know them, because sometimes it could be defrauded. So you want to do your research. Look for, at least, you don't just go for the first supplier that's giving you a quote. To look for at least 5 or 6. Or most importantly, research is everything. Research is everything. There's is it Jungle? Let me see if I can get the name now, where you can do research on the product that you want to sell. Let me see if I can get the name of that tool. It's called Jungle Scout. So you can go there, do a research on the product that you want, that you can, that's on Amazon. There are different kinds of products on Amazon, so they will tell you which ones are that driving more revenue, which ones that have more competitors, less competitors, which ones that have less reviews, because reviews are key. Because the thing is this: if you have a particular brand where you have 1,000, 1,000,000 reviews on them, that product, you can't sell that product as a new person, as a new seller. You don't want to go with, I mean, that would be like you trying to go against Coca-Cola or Pepsi for with your own drink. The competition is too would be too heavy. So you want to go for product with, say, 20 reviews, at least 100 reviews, not too big reviews, because reviews is everything. Just like you and I, if we want to go buy something online, the first thing we look for is reviews. Let's see how many people are buying it. Let's see what people are saying about it. If you have one or two, three people that are saying something negative about it, you realize that you want to give it a second thought. Do I really want to buy this? But if everybody's saying something good about the product, it gives you confidence for you to buy. So it's the same thing with the reviews. Now, if you see 1,000, for you as a seller, 1,000,000 review is a no-go area. You don't want to go to a product that is having that much review. Want to go to a product that is at least, say, like, again, 20 to 100 reviews. Then you can you can see that there is business in that area. So a few things that you need to put in place. Again, I will share the videos with us so that we can watch and see what we can do, how we can the Jungle Scout that I mentioned, unfortunately, you would have to pay for monthly subscription for you to use but then you don't have to do that until when you're really ready to enter into it. So it's a company that it's one of, again, someone that actually saw a gap in the market and decided to fill it. There was a gap when everyone comes in to sell on Amazon. They found that there's nothing that gives them an information of where, of who's selling, how much are they selling, what are they selling, who are the competitors. So this guy saw that, so he jumped into that. They created an app, or a software as a service, I would say, that allows you to just go in there and then do your research. Use that as a research tool, to give you everything that you need before you enter into it. What he charges monthly, so that's something you can actually do as well. You could look for some gap, because the most important thing that you always do, one of the key things you do in the market, in any business or in the world anyway, is always look for where there is a gap, so that look for something that people need, but there is they don't have, in the market. That is where you make money. Again, I know that there's nothing new in the sun, but you can always reinvent it, or not reinvent it. You can always make it better. Whatever it is. That's why your mind is your greatest wealth, greatest asset. So you can actually think about it. What can you do to make things better for people so they can sell? So like that guy, he saw the gap in the market, and he went and created an app, and today everyone is paying him a monthly fee to be able to use that, because people are joining Amazon, like we say, every day, about 3,000 to 30,000 thereabout every day on Amazon. So that's one side of the business that you can look at as well. I talked about the eBay, selling things as well, old things that you have, used things that you can sell on eBay as well. Another area is also learning a new skill. You can learn a new skill, something you can pick up, in a few months, that you can do for people online, even if it's design. You can do that, either website design or graphic design or cooking, or like my wife is making cakes now, or any kind of pastry that you want to make, whatever it is. But you have to look for something that you can do and start with your local community. See, sell it to people around you. You can even start out with testers. Just let people around you just taste it, and just have a feel of what it is that you're doing. Then eventually, when you have gotten them to know that you do this thing, then you can start putting price to it. But one, you have to remember that one source of income is not good enough for you to be able to break out of that to break into that financial independence that we are all talking about. It's just looking for that multiple streams of income. Again, there are some areas where you can look for something that you can do that will pay you passive income monthly, so you don't really need to work. You just allowed your money to do money for you. On the long time, I know real estate is still very important. If you can save up enough money, you can also get an accommodation, get a place that you can buy, or maybe buy or get a mortgage, and then you can rent it out. That's another source of income. If you have a place where you stay and you have a room, some place that you are not using, you can use it. I don't know, I think Airbnb is in the US as well, not sure. Airbnb is one line of business, that's overtaking taking hotels away from hotel business away from people. So you can actually use that one room out, give it up. Because like me and my wife, when we go out for some places, or traveling somewhere, the first thing we're thinking about is Airbnb, because we want the comfort where we can actually possibly warm our own food. We don't have to always depend on the hotel food. Warm our own food, where we'll find a bit more cozy and whatever, find more homely. So if you want to rent out one part of your accommodation, that's another source of income. But always think multiple streams. What can I do to bring more money into the business, into the house? Again, always think in terms of your generation, your children, their children. If you can keep wealth for them as well, it's a good thing. There's nothing that's stopping us from becoming billionaires, but we have to do the work. We have to step right in and get our hands dirty. That's very, very important. So I just thought I should just share this with the few of. I don't want to make this call too long, so that it doesn't get too burdensome for us, or even for some people that are going to be reading it watching the later, so it doesn't get too burdensome. So that's just what I wanted to share with us. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you can always, for some I don't know, it's only D that is on the call. If you have any question, you can ask. And then for some of us that will be watching this, if you have any question as well, you can hit me up, and then I will be glad to take your question. So D, do you have any questions?
Hey, no, not right now. I see you dropping nuggets. You got a lot of big. I didn't know you was doing all that.
you
That's
know
that's
it's good.
good.
I have a few businesses, so I've just been doing a lot of study and research lately, just to see what I can do, just to add to the number of businesses that I have. It's just difficult for some people, because you have to manage so many. For some of us that are working, I know how difficult it is. You have to do your work, and you have to do business on the side. And now if you now have 2 or 3 businesses, it's really difficult. So it's just saying, for me, I'm not working, so it's easy for me. I know for you, you're working now, you're running all that, so it may be a bit difficult, but it's just seeing how you can create time here and there, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, to just put into whatever it is that you're doing. And that should bring in the billions that we're talking about.
I know that's right. Amen to that. I'm
Yeah,
claiming it.
yeah. Oh, anyways, so all right then, I will make this I'll do this recording and send it on the platform for some people that are not here, so that they can have also watch it, and hopefully that helps somebody. All right.
Sure will. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Mm.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye bye.